was going to bed on time, but I was waking up at 3 in the morning, freaking out, completely freaking out because I am moving. I'm moving all my businesses to Arizona. I am moving all my bank accounts to Arizona. I am moving myself. I'm trying to get my family moved if they would listen to me. I have a storage unit here. I've got a pod. I mean, I got everything going. I am busy, and it's a lot of plates in the air and it's a lot of moving parts. And I keep waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning like a bear is chasing me with an absolute panic over something particular. This morning it was, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my dogs? I have 3 farm dogs and all they've ever known is a farm. They've never known leashes. They've never known collars. They've never known walking on a sidewalk with, I mean, Sansa did for a hot minute before we moved out here when she was a puppy, but like, I, of course, am panicked. I'm like, I'm going to have 3 dogs. I have a giant German Shepherd and a medium dog and then a little small Havanese. And I got to put them all on harnesses and leashes and walk them around a neighborhood. And that was my latest panic. But why do I say estrogen? Estrogen, in my opinion, when you can't stay asleep, you should look at estrogen. When you can't get to sleep, it's progesterone. When you can't stay asleep, it's estrogen. So I decided to go back on the patch and I cut it up into a small sliver and I am using the brand name, which is ridiculously expensive, but it doesn't mess me up the way the generic does. So if you have not tolerated transdermal patches of estrogen in the past, it might be because you're getting a generic, and that's very challenging because the pharmacy is going to give you what they have, and for your doctor to get you brand name is going to be very difficult. And the only way it happens is if your doctor gets on the phone and spends extra time they don't have. So that's highly unlikely. And then on top of it, it's so stupid expensive compared to the generic. So I'm so sorry. I have no solution for you on that, but I wanted to share that with you because it's happening. And I get messages every day, a ton of messages every day from you guys, and many of them saying, estrogen, I'm not tolerating it. I'm not tolerating the patch. I feel awful. It might be because you're getting a generic. It either doesn't last very long, or in my case, I felt like I was getting delivered too much too fast, and it was giving me kind of like estrogen dominant symptoms. So just food for thought. I wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, I went back on the patch and my sleep is much improved. I am having a little glimmer of a waking, but I'm just waking and then going back to sleep instead of like waking and getting up and being up, at 3:30 in the morning every morning. So hallelujah, that is resolving itself. Also, my anxiety is going down significantly since going back on the patch. So I think that that's helpful. How is it impacting my pain? It absolutely is. When I use estrogen, and again, I have to use the brand name, and I'm not going to share which one because that's splitting hairs, and the chances of you being able to access that are difficult to none. So I mean, I don't know. It's so crazy. It's like you get whatever your pharmacy has ordered, and they get whatever's in stock somewhere. So it's very difficult with this type of thing to stay on a consistent dose unless you're getting a compounded topical cream. But my body doesn't seem to absorb that so well. So anyway, the brand name patches, from what I understand, and I'm not sure if I am completely accurate on this, but I have heard from hormone experts that they have a very cool technology in them, which mitigates the amount of estrogen that comes out because of this very high-tech delivery system. Anyway, using that, it's helping. And what it does is it makes everything more flexible. It makes me unlock. So I think a lot of that lockdown that I had post-inflammatory phase was probably due in part to low estrogen. I think it was compounding the issue. And so I just couldn't, it was like my spine was like a springboard. So now when I twist and turn, things are moving and popping and I'm getting some mobility. So that's where I'm at, 100%. I'm still hopping on the vibration plate several times a week. I'm still getting in the red light bed. I'm still getting in the sauna. I'm still doing the PEMF mat. I'm on the reformer every single day, at least I promise myself 20 minutes every single day, even if I just futz around. Sometimes I kid you not, I lay there and look at my phone and like pull on the straps a little bit if I'm in a really bad space. But normally I have a very good strategic 20-minute workout. I have a very good 45-minute to an hour flow. I'll tell you what, perfect Pilates album is Radiohead in Rainbows. Love that album. Love that album. I'm going to cry. That album, it's so funny with Radiohead. I don't know why I'm oversharing. Radiohead seems to come out with albums throughout my life since I was a teenager. I saw them for $2 when I was 18 or 19 at the at a venue called La Luna in Portland, which I later opened my first clinic in that same building, which is crazy. And any of you who knew Old Portland know La Luna. Maybe you were at that show. The Cranberries opened. It was $2. It was crazy. Anyway, they always release an album that just like saves my ass. I can't explain why. And when In Rainbows came out, it was the year I was graduating from medical school and I was getting my license and I was going through a divorce and things were very bad. And that album saved my ass. And I listen to that album when I need to get through something tough. And so that particular album came to mind. I kept putting it on and I would move throughout the entirety of that album. And that album is one of the last great albums that I've heard where they built the album as a piece of art, from beginning to end, each song is sequenced as like a beautiful continuity, whole piece of art. The whole thing itself is impeccable. So I listen to In Rainbows, I turn on red lights, I turn off all the other lights, and I move. I think that I think I timed it. It's like 48 minutes long. So that's my general workout. That's it. That's what I've been doing. Petting my dogs a lot, getting sun exposure on my back, making sure I get outside and walk my 3 walks a day, like always, which I always tell you to do. Morning, we want light on the eyeballs. Afternoon, we want high noon sun. We want, don't stay out there and bake in that sun, but we definitely want to I like to get a good 10, 15 minutes at least, maybe 20 minutes. And then I like to get an evening sun. I like to go for a walk with my husband and hold his hand. And we walk as a pack, the whole pack and I and my husband, and we walk around the farm. So those are the 3 times a day I highly encourage you to get outside. It sets your brain and your circadian rhythm really beautifully if you do that. There's no need to overcomplicate this, people. Everybody gets so crazy about the details, but just go outside and let your eyeballs see the sun. Don't stare at it and burn your eyeballs, but get out there, move your buns around. And then remember, there's active care and there's passive care. Passive care is only going to get you so far. Passive care, again, is like the supplements and the treatments that someone does to you, whether they're massaging you or injecting you or foam rolling you, whatever. When you do active care, that is where true healing, in my opinion, begins. I think a lot of it's mindset. It's because you're doing the thing to get over the hump, right? You're making the choice to put yourself sometimes in intentional discomfort to get over the hump. Where's the limit? If it's sharp pain, back off. That's the rule my mentor taught me, and that's what I'll teach you. And that's what I teach my patients. Move your buns around. Those are my exact quote from my mentor. Move your buns around. And if it hurts, push through it. Unless it's sharp, then back off. You know the difference. If it's just discomfort, sometimes we have to breathe through it and work through it because this will get worse before it gets better. And I knew that getting on the reformer. I was like, this is going to get worse before it gets better. And it sure did. Those first few days, every time something would unlock or pop or release, I was in like 2 days of flared pain. It would get worse for 2 days. And it was like that. It was like somebody picked a big scab off my spine and it hurt so good. It hurt and it was sore. Like when you get your ears pierced, like super sore for 2 days and then it would get better. And I'd be like, aha, I leveled up. So I have not gotten back in the gym yet. I have not picked up a heavy weight. I have not swung a kettlebell. I have not done a squat. I have not done a weighted hip thrust. I am doing dumbbell hip thrusts. I dare not put on a weighted vest because I do not want any axial load on my spine. I dare not pick up anything too heavy because that'll put axial load on my spine. I dare not load my back with anything. I won't even carry a bag on my shoulder. I've been rocking the fanny pack, you guys, because I do not want a purse on my shoulder, like loading my spine. So that's where things are at. And I really hope sincerely, I hope this is helpful to you because you may find yourself in a position someday like this and where every attempt you make just seems to flare you worse, where every good intention seems to make things harder. I know I'm going to get messages from people telling me a million different therapies and a million different modalities and a million different movement strategies. And I thank you all, but I am pretty damn familiar with all of them. This is a mechanical issue alongside a systemic inflammatory issue that is a different beast. So if you are a movement guy, you know who you are. I love you all, but this isn't that. This requires a multifactorial approach. And I don't know what doctor to send you to get this, but I'm telling you, if you are stuck in a pain trap, look at different modalities. Consider HRT if you are, 45 years or older. consider that you need more movement. Most of us do need more movement. So get with the movement, folks, and get moving. But that's not the only solution, right?